Wait. Yes.
अजीब दास्तां है ये.
I love this.
Hello and welcome. In today's video, we'll talk about how to sleep better. See, back in the day, my goal used to be how I can sleep less during the day so I can get more done. But as I started doing research on restful sleep, I realized a good night's sleep, a restful sleep is a goal by itself. So in today's video, I bring you two experts from CBD field and from the diet perspective. So stay tuned. See, in order to know the importance of a good night sleep, ask a person who has a sleeping disorder. And I'm sure you know those people whose days start backwards. When they wake up in the morning, they're tired. And when they go to sleep, they are all full of energy. Before we get into the 5 tips to go transition into restful sleep, let's talk about these 5 different brainwave states. See, back in the day, it used to be a mystery because we didn't have the technology to measure our brainwave states as we go into restful sleep. But now with the new technology, especially with EEG, we can measure, we can put electrodes around our head in the scalp area and measure the activity of the cerebral cortex. So scientists have discovered that there are mainly 4 brainwave states we go through. When we are talking, when you are consciously aware, you are in a state called beta state of consciousness. And as you slowly start drifting into a restful state, when you're meditating or doing yoga, you are in something called the alpha state. That's where kids between 0 to 7 years are mostly spending their time in this alpha state. And then as you transition a little more into a more sleepy state, when your body is still but your mind is still active, that's called a theta state of awareness. Kids between the ages of 2 to 4 are normally in theta state. And in that state, you are very impressionable. So anything you are told in that state during meditation or when you're growing up, you take it without questioning it consciously. And then comes a state, delta state of awareness, when you go into a restful sleep. And there's different stages within the delta, which are called non-REM and REM state of sleep. So as you go transition into delta, that's where the healing happens. But because of our modern lifestyle, the stress we hold, we don't go touch that state. So that's why in this video, I want to bring you 5 tips and bring you experts from their field who can guide us into a restful and peaceful state of sleeping. So I'll start with the 5th tip and we'll get to the first most important one. So the 5th tip is about becoming aware of your breath. If you just take this tip and implement it before sleeping, half of your sleep issues would be gone. So as you become aware of your breath, see if you can become aware of which nostril, left or right, is active at that point of time. If you can simply bring your index finger and place it under your nose, and you'll notice that one side of your nostril is more dominant. You can feel the pressure of air on one side more. Another way is to be able to close one nostril and see which nostril is easier to breathe in and out from, which means that nostril was just dominant in you. So our goal here is to be able to make sure that you're breathing in and breathing out of your left nostril. As you're breathing in and breathing out of your left nostril, it's activating your creative side, the right brain. That's where the lucid dreams and the creativity and imagination come from. So hopefully you are in that state already. If you're not in the state, see if you can check out this video. It talks about tips you can engage in to switch your nostril. But let's go on to the 4th tip. Now, 4th tip is a combination of a lot of recommendations which you can do before sleeping. Get enough sunlight in a day. And the best way to get sunlight through your eyes into your body, through your skin has photoreceptors, is through sun gazing. 15 minutes after the sun rises and 15 minutes before the sun sets is an ideal time to be able to watch the sun with your naked eyes. So as you watch the sun, you are producing this hormone called serotonin. Two most important chemicals you should be aware of is melatonin and serotonin. Melatonin, remember, with moon, serotonin with sun. So serotonin is what wakes you up as you wake up in the morning and you go outside and there's beautiful sun shining. Then it's gonna start releasing the serotonin. So as you stay long hours in the sun or in the daylight, it resets your circadian rhythms to produce enough serotonin in your body. And that's the happiness hormone. It releases more dopamine, and this is the same serotonin which you're going to convert into melatonin when the night hits, when the darkness hits. So it's very important to have your serotonin levels up, unless you want to take the melatonin from outside sources like pills, which is okay in the beginning, but over time your body needs to be able to produce these chemicals on its own. So you're training your body by staying in the sun long enough, by staying outside in the nature, and aligning it with the circadian rhythms. So your body clock releases melatonin just before you're about to sleep. Very important. So let's go a little bit deeper into melatonin. How is the melatonin produced and what inhibits the production of melatonin in the body? First is the caffeine. Caffeine has a half-life of 4 to 6 hours. What does that mean? It means that if you ingest 100 milligram of coffee 10 a.m. in the morning, then by 2 to 4 p.m., after 4 to 6 hours, you only have 50 milligram left in your body. And again, by 8 o'clock in the night or by 6 o'clock in the night, you have 25. So you want to make sure by the time you go to sleep, you only have around 15 and less milligrams of coffee left in your body, because otherwise it's going to mess up with the production of melatonin in your body. So make sure if you drink coffee, drink it early in the day, so by the time you go to sleep, you can go into restful sleep without caffeine interfering with your body. Fourth tip is alcohol consumption. See, there is always a difference between passing out and going into a restful sleep. Going consciously into a restful sleep is very different from drinking and passing out. So if you do drink, make sure you have an hour or two. If you drink a cup of wine, make sure you have at least 1 hour so your body can metabolize that alcohol. And if you get lucky and you have 2 cups of wine, then make sure you give at least 2 hours for your body to be able to metabolize the alcohol so your melatonin production is not affected. And with that comes awareness that you're not watching your cell phone 2 hours before you go to sleep, because the radiations in the cell phone and just the light of the screen messes up with the melatonin production in your body. So see if you can make sure that you leave the phone off during the night, 2 hours before you go to the bed. And third, very important tip is about your eating habits. What did you eat before you go to bed and what did you eat all day? Because that digestion would play a very important role in the melatonin production. See, as of now, we thought with our science that melatonin production is only related to the pineal gland. But now as scientists have done more research, they've found out that there is way more melatonin production in the gut, in the microbiome. So it's very important to know what you're eating. So on this channel, I've brought an expert. Her name is Diliana Petrova. She's my partner, and she has a channel called Vegan Gluten Free. So let's hear from Diliana Petrova.
Thank you, Abhi. Our diet and food regime is really important. For example, eating dinner early before sunset will allow your body to digest most of the food, and it will promote a better sleep at night. Including more carbohydrates in our diet will help us sleep better because they help the amino acid tryptophan enter easily into our brain, which increases the production of melatonin. Some superfoods like chia seeds also help us sleep better. If you consume chia seeds in the morning, it will give you energy throughout the day, but it will also help you sleep better at night because they're like a little bundles of tryptophan. I also have some rich in carbohydrates recipes that you might find helpful, such as hummus, beetroot salad, beetroot soup, zucchini fritters, and more. So make sure to check it out and stay healthy.
Second one is why this channel came into being. This channel is dedicated to black screen sleep music. So as you drift slowly by listening to the music, this music is going to take you through your beta to alpha to theta all the way into delta state. So check this video out. This video has gotten around 250,000 views, and there are similar videos on the channel. You can see which video or which music audio resonates with you the most. For the first tip, I brought my friends Chris and Lori, and they have a channel called Chris and Lori Show.
Wait. Yes.
अजीब जो दास्तां है ये
I love this.
कहाँ शुरू कहाँ खत्म.
Just imagine 3 grams.
Today we are talking to Chris and Lori, and if you haven't checked out their show, the Chris and Lori Show, here's the link. And today we're going to talk about sleep. So you guys have already heard, they've heard 4 tips on sleeping. So I kept this one as special, the first one. And we want to introduce the concept of CBD. I know there's a lot of people in the audience who probably tried it. Some people might not have because there's maybe a psychological barrier there. So I want to get your story.
Yeah, which 3 years ago, actually almost this week, it's been 3 years. We were in Mexico for a wedding, and that's how Glory Blends came about. But
even the name,
it really came about out of necessity. You know, we were couldn't sleep. We tried. Oh man, we tried so much stuff. I mean, doctors.
I couldn't sleep. Couple hours a night.
And then, or waking up.
Yeah.
We went to a specialist that spoke at Harvard, Princeton.
Mm-hmm.
We met him at his house in Florida, Delray Beach, Florida, and he you know, you do this. I mean, turn the TV, all this stuff, and we did it, and it still wasn't working. And we were like, it can't be that hard to fall asleep or to stay asleep, or just like even, you know, physically, like our bodies. I mean, we're meant to sleep, so what is it? And my older brother was selling CBD. It just came out. This was even before people were talking about it. This is like four years ago, because Glory Blends, we were already using the product, but we started Glory Blends off of the Dream Tincture. And my brother said, you know, have you thought about CBD? And then we tried a bunch of different brands. Right? I was going to people like, my wife can't sleep, and they try this one. We try it, wouldn't work. I think we tried probably 3 or 4 of them. And my brother's company that he was selling for at the time, they preached what they called whole plant hemp extract, where they extract the hemp and they don't really mess with it, but they thought it was more potent and it should work. And you were taking what, like 8 tinctures, or sorry, excuse me, 8 capsules.
It ended up being about a little over $25 a night to sleep.
Something crazy
It
like
was a
that.
little exorbitant.
I was like, I said, there's no way you're telling me my wife we have to spend this much money to go to sleep. Something felt off. Yeah. So we kept trying, and it still didn't work. Mm-hmm. And the owner of the company we went to high school with, I did.
Yeah.
And he said, I don't really do this, but I'm going to give you our formulator. If there's anyone that could help you, it's the guy, one of the formulators of our products.
Yeah.
So I called him, and I was so desperate. I said to him, listen, if you could get my wife to sleep, we'll sell this stuff for you. That's how, and we know a lot of people.
Yeah.
And he said,
challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted, yeah.
Right.
He said, I'm going to mess around with formulations. So what he would do is he would add what's called terpenes. So the terpenes are like the medicinal oil of the hemp plant.
Yeah.
Other
plants
plants too. Things like lemons have a terpene called limonene, limes, grapefruit. They all have limonene. Pinene is a terpene when you go into a pine forest. It's a bronchial opener, so you smell the pine. It's a terpene, pinene.
Yeah. Got it.
So he added certain terpenes for relaxation and sleep in with the hemp. And he was messing around. He said, if and when it works, just let me know. So every morning I'd roll over and I'd say, did you sleep? Did you sleep?
One morning I woke up and I slept. I slept like 8 hours.
I think your exact words were, what the heck was that stuff? And then that's how Glory Blends came about. And just one other thing about it is what we found and discovered was a lot of the products, this is why to some degree CBD it's not established yet. Or when I say CBD, it's really hemp because CBD is only one cannabinoid in the hemp plant.
cannabinoids.
There's 120, 125 that they know of. So CBD is one, THC is one, CBN, CBC, CBG, like all of those are cannabinoids. So when we were talking about whole plant, it has the plant profile in it.
Yeah.
That's what's needed. That's why a lot of people, there's a lot of garbage because isolates or things, and people are like, this stuff doesn't work. You've taken, especially the Glory Blends. Sometimes I get nervous that people will take too much of it because it's strong.
Yeah.
And if you're not experiencing the CBD that you're taking or the hemp oil, take enough to have an experience. And if you don't, then it's
garbage.
It's not.
Yeah.
We also have a blend called Lucid, so don't collapse that though.
Okay.
That's more for the day, for calm, for focus.
Got it.
So Dream is the one. Yeah.
Dream is the one.
And you might have lucid dreams during it. So awesome.
Yeah, amazing.
And play that song, that Abhi song, and you definitely will have.
Well, thank you guys for coming. We'll see you on your channel. Anybody who wants to check their channel out, watch the link in the description. And
Chris and Lori Show.
Chris and Lori Show, where you talk about the matters.
Health, wealth, and other matters of the heart.
I hope you learned a little bit in this video. And if you did, and if you resonate with the content in the video, hit the like button and cheers. My name is Abhi Dugal and I help you create the life by design. Namaste and peace.